Hello Flosstube, welcome to Homesteading on the Home Front. My name is Lynette and it is Tuesday, October 22nd. And try not to be surprised, but this is the second video this week. I am home from the Stitch New England retreat, which was fantastic. And hubby and I were like ships in the night because he was traveling for work. So he's not here working from home right now. He will be home soon, but I figured while I had the opportunity to film at home, then I would. So I have some FFOs to show you that I forgot to bring with me last time. I have some FOs, I have some plans, I have some haul, I have all the things. So I figured I would film now, mostly because I had the opportunity, but also because then I figured in another month, I'll be home from the Stitching at the Farm, and I'll have more to show you and stuff to talk about then too. So maybe we can make this a once a month thing instead of once every 6 months. We'll see. All right, so the first thing I want to show you, got a blue ribbon at the fair. So our fair uses the the Danish judging system, which means in most cases, entries are judged against an ideal. So instead of comparing my entries to somebody else's entries, my entries are compared against the ideal, which for cross stitch means are all of the stitches going in the same direction? Is it finished properly? Is the back finished off? Is it clean? You know, the bar is low. But I entered this and got first place. It's Spring Moon by Plum Street. I altered it so that it would fit into a square frame. And I actually found this frame at a yard sale for $1, like the day before I finished stitching this. So it was perfect. I threw some blue paint on it. I took out the moon in Spring Moon just because I could. And I love it. The house, so it doesn't look it on the video and it doesn't look it on anywhere on Instagram, but I started stitching with the called for colors, and in person, it is baby blue. Like, there's no denying it. It is baby blue. And it was kind of a shock to me, but I love how it came out now. The second item that I did not show you last week also got a first place at the fair. I love him. I have to be honest and tell you that I did not plan on framing him. I was going to put him on a horn book or, you know, whatever, but I just couldn't find the right stuff. And I was looking through my frame stash and I found this frame which just like makes him pop beautifully. And so I am in love with Santa. I love his face. So he is from this book right here. It is display until October 8th, 2001. So there you go. I actually have seen this at freebie tables and stuff, so it's not that hard to find. Okay, so I think that might have been everything I entered in the fair. I don't know. Oh no. I have to show you one more. I'm not going to edit. I'm going to be really quick. No, I did. Did I? I showed you at home. I showed you at home last week. Okay, good. I don't have to worry about it. I was looking at it because it's hanging on the wall right over there. And I just remembered that I had had a blank space on the wall for a while because I didn't hang it back up until I showed it to you. So, all right, we're all good. Crisis averted. So then I have some finishes. The first one I was actually able to finish at Stitch New England. Virginia is all done with the little heart right there in Chesapeake where we lived. So that just means I have one more to go, which is Guam. I didn't say it on the last video. Those charts are from Country Magic Stitch. I believe her website is just countrymagicstitch.com. She has all the states, she has several countries, and I asked her to do Guam for me, and within 48 hours I had the chart. And let me tell you, it was the best $4 I've ever spent. So yeah. My other finished item, you did not see last week because I forgot to bring it with me. It is from, what book is it from? It is from Winds of Autumn. I also have When the Leaves Fall in the same bag because I want to stitch them all, and I'll do it using the same colors because I have no qualms about that. So this is supposed to be a strawberry. It's a really big strawberry, and I didn't want a really big strawberry. So I decided that I would just square it off. And I don't know if I'm going to frame it. I have no idea what to do. But before the retreat, the bird was just outlined. I had all of the little thingamajigs inside stitched. The bag was outlined. The roof was outlined. The house was outlined. And the windows and doors were stitched. So really all I had to do at Stitch New England was the bird. And then I didn't know if I'd get to the house or not. So after I finished stitching on Virginia, and another project we'll talk about later, I took this one out, and I got all the way up to here at the retreat. And then Sunday morning, I had a late checkout, and I knew that my husband wasn't going to be home waiting for me to come home. So I finished his head at the hotel. And then Sunday, after I got home, I was really tired. I forced myself to unpack everything. Didn't necessarily put it away, but I unpacked it. I sat down and stitched, and I got the roof and the house done. And then I added in, I think I added in this one. I don't know if I need something up here or something down there to square it off. I may have to add something to it, but right now I think it's done. And I'm going to go through my stash and see what kind of frames or finishing items I have and see if I can't get this up and displayed since it is autumn. And my other whip that you haven't seen because I forgot to bring it with me last week is As the Crow Flies Pinky. I first saw this last November at the farm. Joanne was stitching on it and absolutely fell in love with it. I kind of forgot about it until it was time for us to go to Hobby House in April, and my friend Amy, who was with me, said that it was on her list, and I was like, ooh, what's that one? And she showed it to me, and I was like, oh, I know that one. I want that one. So I got it, and I've started stitching on it. I did not touch this at Stitch New England, partially because I wanted to save something for the farm. I want to finish this at the farm because that's where I first saw it. But between now and the farm, which is, I don't know, the weekend before Thanksgiving maybe? I don't know. I'm going to finish the border. I'm going to finish, there's some outlining to do here. And then all of the outlining will be done. And at the farm, I can stitch the house, I can stitch the roof, and I can fill in the bird and the acorn and the leaves. And that'll be done. Right now, this is my only outlining stitch that I have. So for instance, if I should happen to get a sub job next week, this would come with me. And I don't necessarily want to finish it early because I want to finish it at the farm. So I'm debating whether or not I should just start Guam so that I can have a project to stitch on when I'm subbing. For those of you who don't know, I'm a certified math teacher. I don't teach full-time. I love the kids. I try only to sub in math classes, which means usually I'm actually teaching, but during preps and study halls, and if I'm called to teach some other subject, I will stitch and get paid to stitch, and it's a great deal. All right, so then yesterday I wanted to stitch, and I knew I didn't want to stitch on As the Crow Flies. So I decided to sort through my autumn things and find something that I could stitch on quick. And I found this, which I absolutely love. I've had this for years. It's tiny. So I grabbed some floss and started stitching. So I anticipate this one isn't going to take too long. It might be done in the next day or two. Who knows? I don't really love the other two in here. So this might be the only one that I do. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. I don't hang stockings anywhere. I don't know. In the same bag is this that I might stitch up. If you've seen me before, I have showed in the past a large sign that I got at a thrift store. It spells home. It originally had the H and the M and the E, and then in place of the O was like a plastic lavender wreath. So I took that off and I replaced the O with round things. And so I was thinking of doing this one, but then I was like, if I do T is for turkey and I also have the H and the M and the E, it's just going to be a lot of letters. So what I might do is just leave out the middle and make this a wreath. And do that. So I don't know. Time will tell how I feel about that. Also in this bag is this project. I've had this for a while. I've wanted to stitch on it. I don't think I'm going to get to it this year, but who can resist a good Brenda Gervais? I'm pretty sure this is on a 36 count Vintage Country Mocha. I don't know, it was a scrap, but I think it's Vintage Country Mocha. I think it's 36 count. This tells you it gives the stocking template for a 32 count, but I figured I will just use the stocking template and then I won't have to remember to leave myself a 1/4 inch seam allowance because my pattern is already smaller. We'll see if my thinking works. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so then, obviously that's going to be done. What am I going to do between now and then, especially if I don't decide to start Guam? Well, one of the things that I decided to do while hubby was away was sort through and do some picking up in that room, which originally was my craft room, is now hubby's office, and a junk room. It's bad. So I decided that as kind of a gift to him, because he has a much lower tolerance for clutter than I do, while he was gone and not working there, I would kind of pick up and organize and do what I could to give him peace. I found this. Now this, I believe I purchased on the Cape at, I don't remember the name of the store. It's in Brewster. I found it in the wild. I paid retail for it. And I looked at it and I was like, ooh, I wonder if that would fit in a frame, i.e. this frame. This is also a Good Housewife design. It's got magnets. This fits in it. This is, I think this is it a Kathy Barrick? I don't know what it is. Might be a Good Housewife. I don't know. But I stitched it. I found this frame at Michael's and painted it black. It was, I don't know, it was some Mardi Gras or some, I don't remember what it said underneath. But I made this fit, which it does beautifully. And then with the Never Enough Time, I discovered that if I stitched it on a 28 count, it would fit beautifully. I don't like stitching on 28 count. Well, I shouldn't say I don't like it. I don't mind it, assuming that the pattern is okay with one strand of floss. If I'm stitching with white floss on an orange 28 count, obviously one strand isn't going to work. So that's what I don't like. I much prefer one strand. But in a design like this, one strand is fine. So, back to this one. I did the math, and this one is not the same size. It would not fit in this frame, even if I did it on a 28 count. And then I had the genius idea of doing the math with this little star motif. If I put one in front of the Merry and after the Christmas, it's going to fit just fine. So, this is on my list. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, Lynette, that is a Christmas design and you don't stitch out of season. Here's how my head works. This isn't really a Christmas design. It's just letters, right? And this isn't really Christmassy either. It's not like a obvious white snowflake, right? It's just letters. And so I think I am going to start this one pretty dang soon so that I have it and can finish it and display it during the Christmas season. Never Enough Time took a whopping 3 days to stitch. The letters go really easy. And so I don't think it'll be any problem to have this done in time for Christmas. So that's my plan. I also found the same piece of 28 count Vintage Country Mocha that I used for the other two. I can tell because it's nice and long. There's plenty left for it. And then I just happened to grab a color from my stash. I don't know if this is the one that I'm going to stay with. This is Old Mahogany from Victorian Motto. In real life, I don't know if it's like maroony enough. I don't know how to describe it, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel when it's time. More than likely, that's going to be the color. And my Teresa Kogut Christmas bag. I didn't show you the other bags that I've been using, but this I originally purchased to be my Blackbird designs. Like, I always want to have the Blackbird designs in the, if I'm not working on it, I want to have it like ready to go. However, as the crow flies, I felt this had to go into this bag. And so that's that bag. There's a tag on it. The 805 Stitcher, of course. Her stuff is fantastic. And then this bag that I have my actual Blackbird design in is also Blackbird design fabric. My original plan was to use this for Blackbird design samplers. Obviously this is not a sampler, but my other crow bag was taken. That's how my brain works. All right, so let me just make sure, check my list. I've talked about everything I need to talk about. All right, so let's talk about the Stitch New England retreat. It was fantastic. I was able to go with my best friend, Stacy. We have been stitching together since we were in college, which she just had a major birthday, and I did the math. And so we have been stitching together for 60% of her life. She's a little younger than I am, just a little. So she just had her birthday, and I knew this was going to be just a great time for us to be together and stitch, because we used to stitch a lot together, especially in college, but then life, and I was gone being a Navy wife. For those of you who have been here for a while, she is one of the gals I stitched, not Consider the Lilies, that's the other one. Gosh, my brain. Consider the Lilies and the birds, right? It's a bird one. Anyway, the Beth Twist one, that's the partner for Consider the Lilies. We stitched that one together. We started it on the same day, and we finished it on the same day. So we had a great time. Most of our table was the same from last year. So it was me, it was Stacy, it was Amanda from Vermont, and Beth from Connecticut. And we welcomed to our table Beth's friend Lindsay from Maine, and my friend Karen from Connecticut. So we had a lovely time. It was lovely. The hotel was fantastic. The venue was fantastic. And here's a story. I told this to Pam because I knew she would want to know it. But I was shopping in the trunk show area, and I heard somebody talking to a gal who said she was from Minnesota. And they said, "Oh, Minnesota, what made you come all the way to New England for this retreat?" And she said, "Oh, I came last year. I've been to many other retreats, but this is my favorite." And they said, "Oh, why?" And she said, "Because the people are so friendly." And I loved that, because sometimes New Englanders get a bad rap. And it just did my heart good to know that this woman felt welcomed and loved at the Stitch New England retreat. So if you are looking for a retreat for next year, it is going to be the first weekend in October. We're moving weekends. I have already cleared the schedule for next year so I can be there. All right, so let me show you what I purchased. So the first thing, Dirty Annie's. I have never stitched anything from Dirty Annie's before. And looking at the cover, nothing special. But as is the case so many times, you see the actual model, and this doesn't do it justice. And you know, I've been into birds. So I loved this. I had to get it. Robins will always remind me of my Uncle Leroy, because every spring you would say, "Uncle Leroy, I saw the first robin." And every spring he would say, "I saw one last week." And so anyway, we don't get winter robins around here, but I loved this. I think I'm going to stitch this one so that I can finish it in my round and put it in my home sign. I don't know. And then the other thing that I bought, besides one measly, I needed to buy chickpea so that I could, let me show you. And you won't be able to tell because I think I did such a good job. This bag here called for chickpea. And I wasn't going to use it. In fact, I started filling in with a different color. I had outlined it and started filling in. But then the color was not variegated enough. And so it was just going to be this like big blob of yellow. And so I wanted kind of variegation. So I went and got chickpea, which was the called for. And I really like that. And then, not that I had to, but what I did was over a couple strands of these, because I think I had done like 3 or 4 rows with the other original color. I just kind of went over it once with a strand of chickpea to kind of blend it in, and it looks really good. There was no way I was ripping it out. Okay. Seriously, people, I just had a chart in my hand to show you, and now it's gone. Put it in the bag. So, there was a new to me designer at the trunk show at Stitch New England. The designer is Fine Frog Stitching, and she had, or he, I don't even know. He or she had some fantastic stuff. And I saw this. Oh, it's tilted. So there, I'll hold it so it's straight up. Now, if you've been here from the beginning, you know that my youngest, little one, is a Harry Potter fan, and she is a Hufflepuff. And so I texted her a picture of this, and I said, wouldn't this be cute done in Hufflepuff colors? And she texted back very enthusiastically, cute, right? So I was like, okay, I'll buy it for her. And then, while I'm in line to pay, I texted her and I said, am I stitching this or are you stitching this? And she actually responded back with, she's been wanting to get back into stitching. So the jury is still out on who is going to be stitching Badger Gentleman in Hufflepuff colors, which are yellow, right? So this would be more yellows, and maybe the vest would be black, or maybe the jacket would be black and the vest would be yellow, or yellow jacket and a white vest. I don't know. Not my problem. She'll have to decide. So, all right, look at that, 27 minutes. All right, my last thing that I need to show you is a surprise stitch. So once again, little one, if you are watching, you need to shut it off now. I got a text last week shortly after my video uploaded, and she said, oh yay, a video to watch. That was perfect timing. I just finished watching all of my crochet videos on YouTube. And I told her that she was not allowed to watch the whole thing. And she would know precisely when to shut it off. And so, same here. All right. So, I have been working on a surprise stitch for her. And I'm very happy to say that I finished it. I was hoping to finish it Friday morning. No, I was hoping to finish it. Friday. I ended up finishing it Saturday. I don't know. I don't know when I finished it. Friday or Saturday, and then the other one was Saturday. I thought I finished them on the same day, though. Oh, no. This is what happened. I finished this one on Friday. And then I finished... I finished Virginia on Saturday, but I thought it was the same day. No, I finished them both on Friday, and I stitched on the crow all day on Saturday. Sorry for that. You didn't need to hear all of that, but I'm not editing it out. So hopefully by now, she has shut off the video, and I can show you that we have a finish. Yay! I had a couple people come up to me because after I finished stitching this, I put it on the ta-da table because I had totally forgotten to bring anything. I was going to bring at home or and they sin or something for the ta-da table, and I totally forgot. So after I was done, I put this on the ta-da table, and I had a couple people come find me and say that, you know, their kid went to Syracuse, or, you know, they knew somebody at Syracuse or whatever. So he's done. This was originally, I will show you this part. It was originally supposed to be Virginia Tech. I changed the colors. I made the block S. I was struggling with colors here, and then I watched the after interview on the last football game, and the coach was wearing a white shirt with a red S with a blue outline. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. That's what I'll do. Well, then I was paying attention to the marching band uniforms, and the marching band uniforms actually had a blue S with a white outline and an orange background. And I was like, oh, dang, I should have done that because that's the marching band uniform. But then I realized I kind of like the S as an orange because that's what Syracuse is. They're the Syracuse orange. It was just no fun filling in all this white. I'll tell you that right now. But anyway, it's done, and now I can make it into an ornament for Santa Claus to bring. All right, I think that's it. I'm going to upload this. I'm going to put my mess away. Just cleaned. I can't make more messes before husband comes home. And I'm going to work on stitching, and hopefully we will see you sometime in November after stitching at the farm, and you can see if I stuck to my plans or if I threw them out the window and decided to do something else. Who knows? All right, happy stitching, everyone. Bye-bye.